Well, welcome back. It's been a few weeks, I have to say. I've taken a little sabbatical and I'm back at it with Vena Teaches for the new year for January 2021. We made it through 2020 and I'm excited to be here with you. Now, listen, I got to tell you, I'm not going to lie. Here's a confession. I got a new webcam because I thought that it might be a better picture, but I'm kind of looking at exactly how detailed the picture is. And I'm thinking, whoo, man, do y'all ever look at people and say, wow, they really aged? And then you realize that you're the same age that they are. And you're like, oh, I'm the same age. Anyway, I just wanted to tell you that I'm going to get on a new schedule. I think that'll work better. Uh, a Sunday, a Tuesday, and Thursdays would be great release dates for me to do some video lessons. And after today's lesson or episode, I'm going to do a month of heroes. And we are going to learn about real life heroes, the history of these heroes from the past, the present, groups of people. I think everybody needs a hero right now, a real hero that we can learn about and talk about. So January is going to be the year of, or the month of heroes. So I wanted to ask you a question. Do you like to paint? Because I would love to be able to be a painter as far as painting nice scenes and things like that. That is something that I am not very good at or with. I don't draw well. I used to think I could maybe draw a little. I really am terrible at it. I'm not very good at seeing things and being able to translate it into paper as far as drawing a person or a scene or an event or anything like that. That's just something I've never been blessed with doing. Now, there are people in my family that can draw. My daddy can draw. My brother can draw. My uncle can draw. On my husband's side of the family, they have a lot of talent, especially his younger brother is, I mean, beyond a regular artist. This man can watercolor. He can do oils, chalk. He can do anything. I mean, he can sculpt, he can take soapstone, turn it into a bowl, and he can teach you how to do it as well. This guy is so talented. My brother-in-law is. So I'm surrounded by very, very good artists. But when I think about painting, I think a lot about sometimes painting a house or painting a room. If you look behind me, I have a plain, I'm in a bedroom in our house, and the walls are all one color and the trim is another. So I've got one color wall and the trim another. And I could probably do that because that is basically, here's a gallon of paint, Vena, and here's your big brush, and here's your roller, and here's the paint tape that you put around. And then here is the go to town. Here's the pan where you put it in. Go to town. Do a little of this, a little, and I'm sure that I know there's a lot more to it, but I probably could get the hang of it and do it because it's one color. I'm only painting the walls one color, and I'm using big rollers and big brushes. And if I make a mistake, which I'm sure that I would make several and many, many, many more, maybe it wouldn't be so noticeable because everything's the same color. And I've got my big brush and I'm just a painting away. But if you asked me to paint a picture of an individual, a lifelike painting, now I could do some abstract art, not on purpose. Okay. But a realistic painting, because you know why? I'd have to have 5 gazillion tubes of paint. I would have to have tons of different brushes, small, small brushes. I'd have to have, I think there's different weights of brushes. I'd have to have an enormous amount of time. I, I would not be able to capture everything in that individual as someone who is not talented in that way. It would take a lot of small brushes and a lot of time and a lot of energy to see that individual in order to get a realistic view of them to put on my canvas. So, in that vein, let's see. A broad brush can paint an entire room. It's not that hard. It would take time, make a few mistakes and painting with a broad brush, and people go, oh, I don't really, okay, but it takes a lot of skill and a lot of time and a lot of this to be able to paint an individual, because see, you've got to use small brushes, you've got to use intricate details to get the laugh lines, not wrinkles, but the laugh lines, the cheekbones, the color of the eyes. If I want to keep my glasses on, okay, you've got to have freckles. You've got to have all these individual characteristics of somebody. You got to paint an individual with a really, really small brush, an intricate brush, in order to see all of their characteristics. So let's look at this. When you paint somebody with a broad brush based on a label, it's not hard. That's not hard to paint someone with a broad brush. That's actually doesn't take much thinking to paint a group of people with a broad brush. All right. It takes a lot of thinking and takes a lot of time and takes a lot of individual thought, is to see the intricacies of an individual and paint them with a small brush. All white people are XYZ. Well, all black people are XYZ. All Christians are XYZ. All Jews are XYZ. All Muslims are XYZ. All Democrats are this, and then all Republicans are that. That's a broad brush. That's not hard. It doesn't take a lot of this to paint somebody with a broad brush. We've got to look at the individuals. We've got to take our small little brushes and we've got to paint the picture of an individual, because individuals are all different. You can be a black Republican, a white Democrat. You can be a Jewish Republican, a Jewish Democrat. You can be a Christian Republican, a Christian Democrat. You can be an agnostic independent. You can be a socialist. You can be a communist. You can be mean. You can be kind. You can be liberal. You can be conservative. People have more than, when you are just labeling somebody with one thing, people are a lot more, if that's how you think about people are a lot more complicated than that. Everybody has all different kinds of qualities. To paint someone's heart, and make it realistic. You can't do that with a big brush or even bigger brush. To paint someone's heart, you've got to stop and look, and you got to paint it with a small brush. You got to paint it with the characteristics. Everybody has more than one side. We can't keep labeling people based on one thing. We can't keep saying that, well, because you're this, then you must be this. And because you're this, all of those people are this way. It's really not true. You're fooling yourself. And that's a hard world. It's a real hard world to live in, a world where you only see black and white and there's no gray. That's a tough world for everything to be yes or no. That's hard. Okay? But you know what's not hard? Painting a house with one big old roller. I'm going to challenge you to see individuals from different walks of life, individuals from different cultures, individuals from different religions, even individuals from different political parties than you. Oh my goodness. They're individuals. And everybody has their own thought process, and everybody has their own reason for thinking and believing the way they do. And you know, if we stopped sometime and we remember that old idea that we've got two ears and one mouth, that we're supposed to listen double the amount of times that we talk, if we just listen, we can hear in a lot of ways that although a lot of us are different, okay, there's a lot of commonality among us as well. Don't paint people with a broad brush. It hurts you. It hurts them. We need to start looking at each other as individuals and not labeling each other by the way that we walk or the way that we talk or where we go to church or where we don't go to church or who we worship and what we're individuals, guys. And it takes a lot more of this to see somebody for this. And that's my challenge for you today. But listen, Heroes Week is coming starting on Tuesday, and I'm going to give you a little sneak peek. We're going to talk about these nurses, y'all, and these healthcare heroes starting on Tuesday, because they are needing us to do our part, and we don't need to forget the work they're doing. So Tuesday, join me for a little background on Florence Nightingale, Clara Barton, and some other great heroes that have forged the nursing to where it is now. And I'm looking forward to spending 2021 with you. And I hope you have a great night. And I will see you on Tuesday. Still trying to learn.